Hello YouTube! Let's make it Bratwurst today. What is that? First of all, it's a sausage. It's done a little bit different in the end. You need to poach it. If you don't want, it will be just regular sausage. Ingredients are a little bit different, and we need to grind 2 times because it should be a very fine pieces of meat. So it's just the name. Everything, again, you can do whatever you want with, but that's how I'm doing it. Now, a couple of the things. As you see, it's frosted. What that means, it's from the freezer. As you see, it's hard. It's from the freezer. I put meat, I prepared it a couple days ago. It's actually picnic, so I needed to play with it, cut around the bones, prepared it, put with the salt and the cure. Let's call it salt from now. So I put it for when it was yesterday. So at least good 12 hours, something. It stayed in a refrigerator with salt. So pieces by itself, they already salted. So everything what I will be adding today will be without salt. Major ingredients: brown sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper. That's the main thing, and then spices by itself. I'll show you a little bit, but that's what we have. Nutmeg. Again, depending on the recipe, you can use flavoring how you like it and what you like it. Sage, margoran, coriander. I add a little bit of each. Recipe will be below, so just scroll it in and you will see it. You can vary it. If you want a little bit spicy, add it, but the idea of the Bratwurst is you poaching it. It's really ready to eat, soft, boiled in a quote sausages, which you can later drop on the grill or on the frying pan, or just do whatever you want to. Most of the time it's easier to prepare ahead of a time, 2-3 days ahead of a bigger party. And what you need to do, you just need to drop it on a grill and really get the grill marks to look nice, and just to make it warm inside. That means, give some temperature, couple minutes, it's done, because in the end, meat is already cooked and ready to eat. That's a shortcut which you can use, because if you're getting a, regular Italian sausage, you need to cook it through. That takes time. And if you will put on a high heat, the casing could burst, so that could be a problem. So, simple things: meat, grinding, bigger plate. That means bigger whole plate. Then I have another small whole plate which is still in a freezer, but after grinding I will add spices: brown sugar, nutmeg, spices flavoring, so you can add anything: sage, marjoran and coriander, all of them are here. Dried onion powder, garlic powder and black pepper. Okay, first grind is done. As you see, meat is really grinded nicely. Nothing goes, nothing stretches yet. Nothing is happening, it's just cold, nice grind. Step number 2, add spices, mix it, change the blade. Now that's about 7 pounds. If you will do more, probably you will need to put a glove. Again, it's not because you not doing for yourself, but because it's just getting really cold. Now it will be mixing again when I will put everything to the second grind. So just like pretty much mixed, it sounds good here. That's it, grinding is done. If you're doing this at home for this kind of quantity, if you prepared it would not It should not take longer than half an hour. So now we have all of that, but we're missing something. Don't forget, we will be stuffing sausages. And to stuff sausages, usually you need to add water. You remember I always say, you can add water or something else. So in this case, that something else will be beer. Actually, again, Bratwurst sounds like German. It is German. So I will be adding a beer. It's about a glass. Because you see, to stuff this kind of meat is really hard. So it will be easier to stuff, and it would add some flavor. I'll be back. Now, how much beer and what kind of beer? Usually you would choose a darker beer, more flavorish beer. In this case, I have IPA, which has its own flavors. Again, you can choose whatever you like. Usually people choosing like a Guinness style beer, stout, but IPA is perfect. How much per 10 pounds? Probably you will add a glass of beer. So here is a little bit more. We can add a little bit more, or no more. I think it will be fine. So now, everything what we need to do, we need to mix it again. We will put in a fridge bag. Why? Because it needs to settle down. The liquid needs to get into the meat, and then we will be stuffing. So, see you really soon. I just need to change equipment. Okay, so we're ready to stuff sausages. The same stuffer, the same meat. Now, just small advice. When you're packing, watch for the air gaps. Don't leave anything. Some people suggest to take like a circled bunch, toss it in, push it around, everything's fine. Just air gaps should not be passing for the sausages. That's a little bit of a problem in the future, because even if you will air prick them, if it's a lot of air, the gap will go inside, and it doesn't look good. So try to leave as little air as possible here when you stuffing it. Let's get rolling. If you look at the meat, you see everything is incorporated. Everything looks nice. It is sticky, which is a good part of the story. Again, one more note, do not overstuff it. Leave at least an inch empty space, because when it goes in, it just pushes around. So if you will overstuff to the top, it just squeezes all over the place. Let's wait for the end to fill. Roll it back, no pressure. You can physically take the end of the casing and make a knot, or you can make a double knot. Usually I do two and then one time back. Or do the knot with the twine. Let's go. Now I will not be pressing too much, because I want to do the whole link, and then I will make a smaller links. Now again, they will be bigger than regular sausages, just because it's a bratwurst. So let's go. Now if you want to continue, no problem. It's just it will be more things to deal with, because I still have a casing, and I would like to add what's left here, not too much. I would like to add to the stuffer, so let's do it. So all is done, all is stuffed. What I will be doing now, I will be doing links. It's too much left, so what I will do, I just will cut it I would leave a little bit more, just for the reason that I don't know how much of tension I will have when I will be doing links. So I'll see you soon. I just will take the stuffer out of the way. Okay, so now we have something to work with. What will happen here? As you see, one end is free. Another end is not free. But I can do what I would like to do. That means, you know, regular sausages, you go in, you press it in, you turn it around, everything's fine. Here, I want to have a little bit bigger sausages. Now again, I had some air gaps, so I can move them. Now it's a play, but I still can move them into one location where actually I want to turn, and there will be no air gaps. But it's a play. Usually you just prick it and it will go out. But if you don't want to prick it, here it is. It's a little bit too big, but let's get at least something. Another part. And again, I'm doing a little bit bigger ones because this is Bratwurst. Okay, all is done. Next step, we will be getting internal temperature 155, 158, 160. That's a cooked pork temperature. That means they will be fully cooked, but then again, most of the time you will be putting that on a frying pan or you will be grilling it. How we will be doing that? It's in the water. We will get in the initially temperature up to like 190. We will be dropping them in, water will cool off, and then slowly we will get till internal temperature will be 160 or 155. It's around 190. Important thing is we need to add some salt, and we need to be sure that it would keep the temperature. It would not rise too much. What that means we need to lower it just a little bit and add some salt. Why salt? Case could burst if there is no salt. Now again, salt will not be penetrating inside. Don't go over too much. It's a lot of salt. I mean, it's not too little, but it's not too much. It's just salt. What happens next? Temperature is good, but now we need to wait that it would stabilize. That means salt will melt, we will wait a little bit, and then we will measure like in 2 minutes, maybe even in a minute. And if everything is fine, we will be loading our bratwurst into it. What's the idea? Simple. Get internal temperature about 155, 160. How we can achieve that? If temperature for the water stays the same, the current temperature is about 190, it will drop and bratwurst will be absorbing it. But the temperature will not rise, so it will stay steady. It should take about 20 minutes, but we need to watch the temperature will not drop below 160, 165, and then it definitely will be done. Now I know you're tired of watching that pot, so just enjoy some bratwurst. Now be careful putting everything in. Watch how much water you have and how much it could go up or down. This will be our test. So now let's see what we have here. 160. 160. If you short a little bit on the temperature, you can just turn the gas off and wait for another couple minutes. Okay, so next step is just the cold bath. Reason for it is to stop cooking process. You could put into the other tank with the cold water already with the ice. It will cool off way faster. But again, it depends on the quantity of the bratwurst and how fast you want to cool it off. Good. So now let's fill it up and really let's leave them for another 5-10 minutes. Then we can pack them in a fridge. If you want, you can vacuum seal them. You can freeze them. But most of the time it's like a day or two and you will be grilling them or fry panning them.